It's April, and let's talk books that need more love. 'Cause books are not people too, but they still need love. I was going somewhere with that. So Trina and Kayla have started this new Goodreads group that is based on monthly recommendations so that we as a community could each month have a theme to talk about books that we want to recommend to your faces. This month is underrated books. So books that need a little more love that just aren't talked about nearly enough. Now my list, I did 7 because that was a nice odd number. Yeah. I probably recognize nearly all of these because at one point or the other I've brought them out because I can't not talk about them. They need to be talked about. But here they are. First book I want to talk about is Splendor Falls by Rosemary Clemont Moore. I read this book this year after discovering Rosemary for the first time, and I don't think this book gets nearly the amount of love that it should. This book is based around Sylvia Davis, who is now a retired ballerina because she had an accident. She is a teenager, of course, because ballerinas are usually, their careers start young. But she's moved in with some of her relatives to the beautiful Gothic South, where she starts to discover some odd things about the place she's living and her family. It is that beautiful Southern Gothic feel with that nice supernatural twist that is pretty much prevalent in most Southern Gothic books. And I related to her on such a level that you don't even know. And I want her dog. If you're looking for something set in the South that is a little bit creepy, a little bit romantic, pick this one up. The next book I want to talk about is The Bargaining by Carly Ann West. This is a new release this year and I picked it up and it was beautifully eerie. It is about a girl named Penny who is shipped off to go help her stepmom April renovate a house that April decided that she needed to redo and sell. Creepy things happen. If you haven't noticed a theme in the second book, creepy is my thing, and there's something in this book, and I like how some of the things may or may not make sense. It's a nice book to read during a thunderstorm. Yeah. The next 2 books are actually by the same author, but I don't think she gets enough love, so I'm bringing her up twice. And that, of course, is Robin McKinley. The first book of hers that I want to talk about is Pegasus. Now, the premise of Pegasus is that in this society, people are bonded with Pegasi. They create this pair bond where they then pretty much do life together. And the society is based around that. Now the Princess Sylvania, I think that's how you say that. I totally butchered that. She knows from the age of 12 on she is going to be bonded with her Pegasus. They in turn find out that their bond might be a little deeper than the average pair bond. And it's just beautiful, and I wish I had a Pegasus that could be my pair bond. I warn you, if you pick up this book, which you should, because it's good, and I don't really want to spoil a lot of it, this is a first book in a series, and I have no idea when the rest of it's coming out. And it kind of bugs me. That shouldn't stop you from reading this book and waiting impatiently with me for the next of the series to come out. The next of Robin McKinley's that I want to talk about is Sunshine. I know there is a lot of people out there who really enjoy vampire books because Twilight got them into reading. Well, this book came out at the same exact time as Twilight. I actually picked them up together. Twilight had the unfortunate mistake of being read second. Read this one first, and then I just couldn't do Twilight after this book. This book in my mind is far superior. It is about a baker named Sunshine, who at the beginning of the book is kidnapped. She is just dealing with the world of vampires. And she is not this stereotypical bad girl who can handle herself. She is just sunshine. She is the average girl who is used to making bread at 4 o'clock in the morning. She doesn't have fighting skills. She doesn't have survival skills. She ends up falling into this world where she is dragged pretty much into the darkness and has to figure out how to not let this completely affect her life. And it is beautiful. It is set in a world where everyone knows vampires are a thing, but vampires aren't human things. They can resemble humans by the fact that they've got arms and legs, but they are as creepy as all get out. They are not romanticized in the way that vampires seem to be right now since Twilight came out. I really enjoyed it. It was a different take on the vampire, and I liked it. And then we have Summer and Bird by Catherine Catmull. I read this book. It was such a sweet fairy tale-esque story of two sisters who are on a search for their parents because they've suddenly gone missing. It takes a lot of bird mythology and creation mythology, and it's got this weird, artistic, creepy twist. I don't know if many of you have seen Mirror Mask. It feels a little like that at times, and I think that's why I enjoyed this one so much. I wouldn't necessarily call this a bedtime story, but it's kind of got that bedtime story feel, and I think you should pick it up. And we got Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Merlier. I'm sorry, her name and me do not get along, and so you will get that butchered form of her name. I know several people who really like her writing. She usually starts out a series based on a fairy tale, and this one is no different. It's the tale of a girl whose 7 brothers get turned into swans, and it is her mission to sew shirts to make them human again. The 7 Water series, which this is the first of, is a good series, but this first book by far is my favorite. I think it's the slow burn romance that you don't really notice until it sneaks up on you that happens in this story that I love so much. And so yeah, I can't not. You guys should pick up this book, even if it's the only one in the series that you pick up. And finally, no surprises, the Silo series by Hugh Howey. This is a wonderful trilogy that is based in the future where the surface of the earth seems to be devastated by some kind of catastrophe that we don't know, we don't understand, we don't know why it is. Everyone is living underground in this silo, this inverted building, I guess you can call it. Society is just going on and they're learning to deal with living in a confined space, and you learn that one of the greatest forms of punishment is to be scheduled for a cleaning. So people have to strap on suits, they have to go outside in this poisonous air and clean off the camera so we can continue to see what's going on. No one survives a cleaning because at some point the air gets into the suits and they're gone. And that's how it starts out, and you meet all the people that are living, and then how they're living, why they're living, and what happened, and it's just beautifully written, a wonderful journey. So if you like sci-fi, pick it up. Those were a few underrated books that I think need more love. They were kind of the first ones that came to my mind when I heard this topic. I'm sure I'll think of other ones after I'm done filming. And I'll probably start tweeting those out. So you should follow me on Twitter if you don't follow me on Twitter already. Because I'm a Twitter freak now, guys. I'm just, I don't know if that was coherent. I want to connect with you guys, so find me in any of the social platforms down below. And I heart your beautiful faces. Bye. So this is,